How long have you been beekeeping for then?
2014, so was it 6 years? I've only got a childhood memory. My father, back in the 60s, kept bees, and he realised some of his colonies, I think it was 12 that he had, wasn't performing, and there was something wrong. He was diseased. And then, as that you have to do, the bee inspector comes out, and if it does have a disease, you have to burn all your colonies and all the hardware, and that's what you have to do. And then never really got back into it after that. I personally don't use much smoke. I've bred bees that are gentle enough, it seems. If you think about a forest fire, they'd gorge on their honey before maybe fleeing. Only started off with a couple of hives. You tend to be phoned up. Maybe there's a swarm in somebody's garden, or they could well be your bees. I think I touched just under 100 in the height of summer. Probably near back down to 90 now, maybe. What I do in winter is something you call hefting as well. You don't want to be opening hives up in winter when it's cold and windy. What will give you a good idea if it's got bees and enough food will be if it's got a bit of weight to it. Then maybe you'd heft a hive as well, like this. Just an idea that's got a good weight to it. Bees have cleared their fondant, look, they're flying through it. Need to buy some more. Bees have gone through 3 of these already. It's exactly like cake fondant, but you don't want the cake fondant that's full of stabilisers and stuff. So you'd feed sugar syrup in this trough here, and then they come up and they get just enough of it in there, but not too much of it where they'd drown in the sugar syrup. You keep these feeders on because it gives them insulation in the winter as well. So this is a crown board. This is a super, so in summer months you'd expect this to be full of honey, and that's the brood, that's where the young bees are made, and the queen usually lays. So you graft the eggs. Grafting means fishing out the eggs, then putting it in a really strong hive, say here, that hasn't got a queen. You're giving it a frame and they feed it with royal jelly, and you'll have 50-60 queens maybe. Obviously you've closed the front off. In that little hole there you've done your grafts, but when the queen comes out, that's their queen then. If one of those queens comes out after 16 days, she'll go and kill all the others. This is what's called a creaming machine, and a large paddle. You add runny honey and some crystallized honey, and the crystals get dispersed through the runny honey, and it gives you a spreadable honey similar to this. This now has been going for 2 days. This then is a heating cabinet where it slightly warms the frames enough for when you uncap them, drops down the bottom before you put it in the spinner. So it's been set to whatever the hive temperature would be, which would be like 34. Not so hot that it melts or heats the honey. I think that's heather honey, I think. This one straight away has found the... It's crazy. It's gone in. It's in my jacket somewhere. And quite often if I... most of these hives would have been up in the heather, and sometimes you can smell heather honey. There's more work involved with it. You'd have to cut the wax out and press it like a cider press. So that's why it comes at a premium, heather honey. Not many beekeepers tend to go to the mountains in August when the heather is out, and there's always an element of coming back empty-handed, but then in a good year you come back with a nice heavy hive which is full of honey and some surplus for you to harvest. So, and it's a hobby that I love.